Mark chapter 11, here's the word. If you're able, stand to your feet in respect for the word of God. Right after church, I think our kids are going now. They've got the Easter bunny downstairs, and they're taking some pictures with the Easter bunny. So if you got on your good Easter clothes and your kids want to get in with the Easter bunny, you get that done downstairs. They can do it now, or they can do it right after church. But the Easter bunny's there, and you don't want to let that good Easter dress go to waste. I remember them days, boy. Oh yeah. If you didn't have, you would. Mama didn't have a lot of money, and sometimes money would be tight. But she did what she had to do to get me that Easter suit. She was clean that Easter. You might have been clean no more the rest of the year, but you was clean that Easter. Yeah. And you was at church on time because you wanted everybody to see your Easter suit. Some of y'all 40 years old, still showing off Easter suit. Mark chapter 11. But the older you get, you understand it's not about the clothes, it's about the souls. Some of our outside is on fleek. Our inside is a mess. I'd rather be messed up on the outside than have it together on the inside. That's right. Mark chapter 11. This is Easter Sunday, and I don't want to go to the normal route. I'm going to go a different route. I told you what I was going to talk about. Mark chapter 11. Matter of fact, we're going to do two scriptures. I want you to see what's in Mark chapter 11, and then hold your finger in Mark chapter 15. Mark chapter 11 and verse 8. When you find it, say, Still looking, say, wait on me. We together. Mark chapter 11, verse 8 says, and many spread their coats on the road, and others cut down leafy branches of palm trees and spread them on the road. And those that went before and those that followed him cried out, Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the kingdom of our father David that comes in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest. Now go to Mark chapter 15. Mark chapter 15. At verse 1. It says, immediately in the morning the chief priests had a consultation with the elders and the scribes and the whole council. And they bound Jesus, tied him up, and led him away and delivered him to Pilate. Verse 6 says, now at the feast that he was accustomed to releasing one prisoner to them, whoever they requested. Verse 9, but Pilate answered them, saying, do you want me to release the King of the Jews? For he knew, watch this, that the chief priest had handed him over because of envy. Can I tell you real quick, envy is a terrible thing. Jealousy will make folk do stuff to you that don't even really know you. So they wanted to kill him because they were envious of him. That's why you got so many haters. That's why you got so many people gunning for you. You ain't did nothing. They just got that jealousy thing going on. Verse 12, Pilate answered and said to them again, what then do you want me to do with him who you call the King of the Jews? So they cried out again, crucify him. And Pilate said, why? What evil has he done? But they cried out the more, crucify him. Can you say amen? That's enough. You can be seated, President God. The grass withers and the flowers fade, but the word of our God shall stand forever. In chapter 11, they cherish him. In chapter 15, they crucify him. Chapter 11, they worship him. Chapter 15, they hate him. Chapter 11, they love him. Chapter 15, they can't stand him. Let me just talk for a moment, use another subject, how to handle fake people. How to handle fake people. Just look at somebody and tell them, you need to hear this. You need. That was a hater. You'll celebrate it real quick and tell them, you need to hear this. You need. About how to handle fake people. All right now. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, saints and sinners, there's a show called on daytime television called The Real. All right. Y'all don't watch TV. All right. It's a talk show, ladies and gentlemen, that features 5 different outspoken female personalities who all go through different life experiences. All of them claim to keep it real because they admit that they are a work in progress. All right, yeah. They bring to the show, Tanya, they bring to the show different perspectives on things varying from fashion and relationships all the way down to their own personal drama and everything in between. Prophetess, while I am not a fan of the show, I gotta admit the title caught my attention. While I'm not a fan of the show, that title caught my attention, The Real. And when I pondered over it in the airport yesterday, I pondered over it. I came to the conclusion that real is a scarce commodity in the day we live in. Y'all ain't talking already. You might as well come on and be honest. Finding real people in this day and time is hard to do. And it's not just limited to just people, Ruby, but it's hard to find anything that's real now. It's hard to find a real relationship. It's hard to find a real friendship, all the way down to makeup and hair. Y'all ain't saying nothing here. And you know, let's just be honest, you know that makeup thing is a trip now. That's a trip. I mean, I see some of y'all, and when I see y'all with it on, I'm like, yeah. And then when I see you with it off, I'm like, no, I wasn't ready for y'all. Ain't gonna say nothing here. I've seen some things look real good at first, but when they take it off, I'm preaching. You just don't know it. When they take it off, don't look nothing like. Y'all ain't said nothing. I mean, it looked good, but in actuality, it wasn't real. You know, fake is what's hot now. Fake is what's the thing now. From fake jewelry to fake bag to fake eyelashes. No shade, but y'all ain't gonna talk now. Everything fake. Y'all ain't no real nails no more. Ain't no real toes no more. Y'all ain't saying nothing. You don't even know what you got till about 3 weeks in, and you wake up to them and. Cause fake is just the thing now. People used to pay $250 for a belt that was real, authentic Gucci, and now Negroes can go down the street and buy a $15 one and stand right by you. Y'all ain't saying nothing, and you can't tell the real from. Y'all ain't saying, and this ain't no shade message, but what has happened is not only are we infiltrated with fake things, we become infected by fake people. Fake people look good and they even sound good, but the truth is they ain't real. And they've applied the makeup principle to their life, and they put on to look good for a little while. Y'all ain't said nothing, but you know you take it off after a while. You've been around folk who look good and acted good and talk good for a while, but the longer you stayed around them, it stopped. Y'all ain't. My mama told me you can't fake it, but for so long, eventually the real you. It's just common. It's just common. It's critical now, beloved. It's critical now because, and that's why if there's one relationship you ought to love, that's why your relationship with God ought to be the top thing on your priority list. Because God is the one person you know gonna keep it real. God is the one person that's seen you at your best and at your worst, and He loves you just that. Y'all ain't gonna talk to you. You love me because you ain't seen me at my worst. But some of y'all will leave this church. If you knew my lowest moment, you wouldn't even call me your pastor. But God seen every moment of my life, and He still loved me the same. When I was drunk, He loved me. When I was sober, He loved me. When I walked right, He loved me. When I slipped up, sometimes He loved me. Just tell them that's why I love Him, because He loves me. You're looking hazy, but with that joint in your mouth, He still loves you. With that powder up your nose, He still loves you. Don't you look at me like that. When you're laying in somebody's bed that wasn't none of yours. What a real for to hell with your fake Negroes. I'll preach to you next time. But let me preach to the real folks in the room that can shout, yes, I've been wrong, but He's still. Okay. So, you know, it's just, it's fake. It's just what's up. It's common. It's common to be fake now. Matter of fact, we got so used to it, prophetess, we don't even be surprised. Come on. When you find out they wasn't keeping it real, you ain't even shocked no more. Come on, talk. Because it's so common. I mean, and all social media did was make it easier to be fake. Social media is the place you can be my friend on Facebook, but my enemy in reality. Y'all listen. You can talk, y'all listen. You can be my friend on Facebook, but won't even open up your black mouth and speak in person. Social media is the place where you can be fake. Matter of fact, you can create a fake page and act like you somebody you y'all ain't. That's why I love Jesus, because he's the real deal. So it can be hurt. It can be irritating. It can be disturbing when you have to deal with so much fakeness. But when I searched the text, Larry, I learned that I'm not the first one that had to deal with fake. Because when I read the text, I watched Jesus deal with fake folks. Before there was ever a talk show about it, Jesus lived the reality of it. Here is the story, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Jesus has been doing his ministry for 3 years straight. 3 years straight, Jesus has been doing big things, and his popularity has reached His popularity has reached the status of a superstar. And Jesus is the man. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he's got rock star status. The people all over town, the population would come out just to hear. Thousands at a time would come just to see and much less hear the man. There'll be so many people that he'd have to get out on the boat and stretch it out from the land so everybody could see who he was. Jesus was a real rock star. Everybody in town called his name. They'd get up out of their bed really early in the morning and they get down to the river because they want to see this phenomenon that they call Jesus. But can I tell you, trust me when I tell you, with elevation comes envy. Y'all ain't listen. I said with elevation comes envy. Can I tell you, not everybody is happy when you start going higher. The higher you go, the more enemies you gonna create. Can I tell you, if you ain't got no enemies, it's a sign you ain't going nowhere. If you ain't got nobody talking about you, nobody hating on you, you ain't doing nothing with your life. Because anytime you have elevation, you can look for some enemies and envy. You ain't got to do nothing to them. They just don't like you because you got a new hairstyle. They don't like you because you saved your money and bought a car. They don't know you struggling to make the payments. They just hate because y'all ain't. They looking at what you got, but they don't know what you got to do to get what you got. They don't know your grind. They don't know that you ain't laying up in your bed asking for a handout. You getting out there and grinding for what you want. But with the elevation comes envy. Watch this. He's reached the point in his ministry that when people heard he was in town, they tore off palm branches. They heard this rock star, Jesus of Nazareth. He's coming. So they got in the street and they tore off palm branches and laid them down in the street. And the donkey that Jesus is on, riding on the branches. Matter of fact, it got so bad they started taking off their clothes. Laying their clothes down because Jesus was coming. Now this ain't a sermon, but can I tell you, whenever Jesus comes in your life, there's some stuff you're going to take off. Y'all ain't preaching good back to me. Listen, when Jesus really comes in your life, there's no way you can keep on some stuff. I look at some of y'all and I said, no, Jesus ain't in your life because you got on too much hatred. Jesus ain't in your life because you got on too much jealousy. Can I tell you, why would I be jealous of anything you got when I've got the same Jesus you got? And if Jesus bless you, he can bless me too. I think the touch of neighbor, tell them, take it off, take it. Y'all, that mess don't even look good on you. Jealousy don't even look good on you. Being a gossiper don't even look good on you. You look a mess. Take it off. Lying don't look good on you. Take it off. You can always tell when Jesus has really come in somebody's life, because there's some stuff we take off. Now, I ain't saying you're going to be perfect, but when Jesus is really in your life, your testimony is some things I used to do, I don't do no more. Not everything, but some stuff I still do. Let's be real. But some feelings I used to have, I don't have no more. There's some habits I used to have, I don't have no more. That's because I took it off when Jesus came into my life. Now watch this. Here it is now. This is Jesus' last natural week on the earth as a natural man. And he was to deal, he has to deal on this last week, prophetess, he has to deal with the fakeness of several people. All right, come on. Listen, hold you long. First of all, I only got the 2, 3 I want to talk about. First of all, let's talk about the fakeness of the crowd. All right, come on. Let's say church say crowd. Yes, sir. All right. You see them in chapter 11. Oh, man. Guys, and they're making a big deal. Yes, sir. Over Jesus. They're bowing down in the street, they're cheering him on. Yes, sir. You think if you just walked in, you think these people really love Jesus. Yeah. But just 4 chapters later, right? Not even 7 whole days. Church ain't talking good. In just 4 chapters later, listen, they were just cheering him in chapter 11, but they want to crucify him in chapter 15. The ones that lifted him up in chapter 11 want to snatch him down in chapter 15. And I notice, watch this, ladies and gentlemen, I notice that Jesus is so good at what he does, he never even addresses the fanfare. He never addressed it in chapter 11. He didn't even take him serious and put his nose up in the air. He wasn't even waving at the people like they really love me. Y'all ain't saying anything. Because Jesus knew wasn't nothing to them. Jesus knew they wasn't real. Watch this. Can I tell you, he didn't read them, but he didn't acknowledge them either. Y'all ain't talking. He didn't go off and expose them, but he didn't waste no time with them either. Can I tell you, what did he do, Jones? I'll tell you what he did. No matter what the crowd did, he just kept on riding. I got somebody holler, ride on, King Jesus. Can I tell you, whenever you got an assignment on your life, you can't waste your time getting everybody told. Whenever you got somewhere you're going in your life, you can't waste your time telling everybody off. But you got to know, watch this, I learned from Jesus, Tanya, don't be distracted by disloyalty. Watch it. Don't be, that's a good tweetable moment. Don't be distracted by disloyalty. When you know you've got a destiny, you can't afford to be distracted by disloyalty. Matter of fact, you ought to expect it. See, your problem is when you can't get to the place God's trying to get you to. It's because you keep being distracted when people show themselves disloyal. You spend a whole week tripping. A whole week you could have been making your money. Whole week you could have been praying, asking God for direction. Whole week you spend watching Facebook, see if they're going to say something indirectly. They ain't even call your name, but you feel some type of way when you just see something you think that you know. Don't be distracted by disloyalty. Watch this. Jesus knows they ain't no good. He knows they fake. but he just rides on. In other words, he keeps it moving. That ain't even spiritual, but let me tell somebody, you need to keep it moving.
Yes, sir.
Let me show you, Mama, let me show you how disloyal this crowd is. Let me show you how fake they are. It wasn't that long ago when Jesus ran a revival. And you remember, at this revival, 5,000 men, not including the women and the children, came to the revival meeting. And Jesus preached so good, and after revival's over, they were hungry. And Jesus looks at the disciples and said, man, we can't send them home hungry. Let's feed them. And they said, how are we going to feed all these folks? 10, 15,000 people. How are we going to feed them all? Jesus said, give me them 2 fish. 5 like you, loaves of bread. And he takes 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread, and he feeds over 15,000 people. And not only did he feed them and they all got full, there were 12 baskets still left over. They had 12 doggy bags. They had 12 to-go boxes. After they ate from 2 stairs, they helping me preach. 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. And watch this, they saw him work a miracle. They tasted his miracle. They were sustained by his miracle. Ladies and gentlemen, but now that Jesus is in trouble, not one of them. Wait a minute. Right. Out of 10, 15,000 people, not one of them stood up for him. Wait a minute. So you were all right with Jesus being there for you when you needed him. But you couldn't be there for him when he needed you. Can I tell you that's fakeness at its best? Y'all ain't sitting down. Some of y'all know some fake folks in your life. How you know they fake? Listen, if you can help them but they can't help you, they fake. If you can check on them but they'll never check on, they fake. If you can loan them but they can't loan, they fake, boy. We don't take no rocket scientists. That's right. If you always go out your way for them, you go a mile out your way for them, but they won't go a step out of their way for you. That's what y'all ain't gonna say. And some of y'all need to stop playing and be stuck on stupid and act like you don't see it. And some of y'all know it, you just don't want to admit it. But there comes a time you gotta kiss and say goodbye. There comes a time when you gotta value you more than you value anything else. Comes a time that you hold your peace. But then there's another time you gotta call it out.
Yes, sir.
Watch this. I ain't got time. I'm going with that in a minute. Because I'm gonna teach you how to call some stuff out.
Come on.
See, you think you're being humble.
Talk, man. Come on.
But there's a thin line between humble. I got a tight crowd, so I can't say what I want to say. There's a thin line between weakness and meekness.
Come on. Show you.
There was a time. Look at Jesus. There were times he was soft-spoken. Let them do what they wanted to do. Next time you see Jesus, he goes up in the temple.
Yes, he does.
Kicks over the table.
Yes,
Slips over chairs. He gets a whip in his hand and going after him. About to put something on him. That's the same meek Jesus. But there comes a time you got to know when to hold him. You got to know when to fold him. There's a time you got to stand up and you ain't going to keep walking on me. No, you ain't going to just keep walking. I tried to hold my pew. Watch it. Jesus has to deal with the fakeness of the crowd, but I can't stay there all day. Because not only does he deal with the fakeness of the crowd, secondly, he has to deal with the fakeness in his own crew. Now, it's one thing to deal with it from without. But it's another thing to have to deal with it from within. Some of y'all ain't talking because you're the fake ones I'm talking to. I know why you ain't shouting. And listen, it's bad enough to have to deal with it coming from the crowd, but it's a different kind of pain when you're catching hell from your own crew. God here. It's bad enough to catch hell in the street, but it's a hell of a thing when you got to catch it from the house. It's bad enough when you can't trust folks on the job, but it's something else when you can't trust folks in your own house. Jesus has to deal with fakeness from without and within, because the crowd ain't real and his own crew ain't real. Watch this. Jesus, I'm not done. Jesus picked 12 disciples.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
12 guys who were constantly to be with him, ride or die, thick or thin, hell, high water.
Yeah.
These 12 supposed to ride with me.
That's right. That's right.
Watch this. But that's some fakeness.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes,
The
it is.
one in the crew.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
What's this? Judas betrayed him.
Yeah.
Peter
Yeah.
denied him.
Yeah.
Thomas doubted him.
Yes, sir.
You pick 12, but 3 of them ain't no good.
Good. Hey. Yes, sir. Show you right. Show
This is
you
a small congregation of just 12.
Oh, man.
And 3 out of 12 ain't no good.
Yeah.
Sir.
I mean, just 12.
Uh-huh.
What you think about a congregation of about 200?
Say it. Say it.
Yeah.
Can I tell you, just because you sit by them on Sundays,
Come on.
and when I say touch your neighbor, they touch you and they smile and y'all. Okay. It's obvious. Watch this. I can't deal with Peter and Thomas, but let me just look at Judas for a minute, and I'll let you out of here. It's after 11:30. Well, let's look at Judas. Judas is one of the most trusted disciples. Ladies and gentlemen, I know he is because Jesus puts him over the money. Dennis, you ain't gonna put nobody over your money that you don't trust. Y'all ain't talking. Y'all ain't talking Jesus. Jesus puts him over the money. Now Jesus is omniscient, which means he knows everything. Ladies and gentlemen, he knew Judas was fake from the start, but he let him stick around. Now here's how you handle fake people, beloved. Sometimes even when you know they fake, you gotta let them hang around long enough to see. You said, well, what they need to see. You gotta let them hang around to see that when God is on your side, ain't nothing they can do with you. Y'all ain't saying nothing. You gotta let them stick around, and you gotta let them be close enough to watch you eat, but not close enough to eat from the table themselves. Let me say it again. Back it up, because y'all didn't get it. I said you gotta let them be close enough to watch you eat, but not so close they eat from your table. What you talking about? Here's what David says. Thou prepare a table before me. Watch this. In the presence of my enemies. So watch this. If you send them away too soon, all you're doing is delaying the process of your prepared table. Because listen, if God's gonna do it, he's gonna do it in the presence of your enemies. So that means no enemies, no table. And some of y'all been praying your enemies away. Some of y'all been reading them away. But listen, God told me to tell you, in this season, just let them stick around. He said, because I'm going to show them some stuff. In other words, can I tell you, sometimes you got to let your enemies hang around. Because sometimes your greatest enemy has the title of friend. I'm done now, but Jesus needed, and watch this, Jesus needed Judas to get to the cross. Can I get a witness here? I said Jesus needed Judas to get him to the cross, because if it had not been for the crucifixion, then there would not have been any resurrection. Judas thought he was hurting Jesus, but can I tell y'all today that what the enemy meant for your bad, God will use it for your good. Can I get a witness here? But I'm closing now. But let me tell y'all how to deal with fake folks. Here's how you do it. Let them do their thing. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. Let them think that they're fooling you. Let them think that they putting something over your eyes. Let them think that they got one over on you. But what they don't understand is God is using them for your next elevation. Can I get a witness? I said God is using your enemies to take you to the next level. Can I tell a witness here? God is going to use your enemies. He's going to use their mess and give you a miracle. Y'all ain't happy. Ain't nobody happy but me. Can I get a witness? God is going to use their mess and give you a miracle. Is there anybody here that can believe God is going to use your enemies as stepping stones? He's going to use your haters as a footstool. Don't let them be fake. God is going to bring you out. I'm gone now. But you know this here, sister. He died. I've got to do it now. He died. Anybody know he died? Oh, this is Easter now. Right on, Holy Father. He died. He died. He died until the whole world began to reel and rock like a drunk man. He died until dead men got out of their grave, start walking around and shaking their head. Oh, he died until a centurion looked up at the cross and said, surely this man was the Son of God. He died, but they didn't stay dead. They hung him high and they stretched him wide. He hung his head and then he died. But that's not how the story ends. 3 days later, he rose again. If there anybody here that know he rose, can I get a witness here? And when he rose, well, he said something that blew my mind. Now, I know you've heard of Alabama power, and I know you've heard of electric power, and I know you've heard of manpower, and I know you've heard of horsepower, and I know you've heard of angelic power, and I know you've heard of demonic power, and I know you've heard of team power, but I got one more power I want to tell y'all about, and that's all power. And I heard Jesus say, I got all in my hand. If there ain't anybody in here, know he got power. I dare you to shake somebody's hand and tell him he still got power. Still got power. Still. Yeah. Go shout, baby. Yeah. Still got power, saving power, healing power. Still got power. Still got power. Don't worry about being fake. That God of mine sees everything. Don't worry about being fake. That God of mine, he knows everything. And he won't put no more on you. You gotta let him know. I might not see you, but that God of mine, you might do some plotting and planning behind closed doors and think I don't know nothing about it, but that God of man. I'm glad. I'm glad that he knows. I'm glad the stuff that I don't know, I've got a Savior. When your enemies dig a ditch for you and they looking for you to fall down, that God of mine, when I can't even see it, he sent his angel down, built a bridge over the dip, and start falling down. I tell him, walk right on over. Glory to him. That's it. Here's how you deal with fake people. Don't be distracted by disloyalty. Don't address everyone. But here's the ultimate way to handle them. Sometimes you don't even know they're fake. But if you just stay close to God, God had a way of whispering in your ear. Tell you stuff like, you better watch that one. You know, when you hug them, just don't feel right. And they smiling and they acting friendly, but something on the inside won't let you be at peace. Listen, let Jesus, let him fix it for you. For he knows, that's the whole church. Just what I know God knows too. Let me tell you what the old folks said. Whenever you pray, just let him have heaven away. Come on, say, oh, Jesus will fix it. Oh, by and by, oh, by. The door of the church is open. Everybody stand. Everybody say, she will fix it. I remember the old church was saying, oh, you ain't got to worry no more. For he knows, my God knows you. My God knows what to. How many of you know that to be true? I'm going to tell somebody here that whenever you pray, just let him have. Oh my, and my, and my, not just one time, but by and by, not just two times, but by. Listen, and over. You'll do it. The things you can't fix, turn it over to the Lord. Turn it over to the Lord. Turn it over to the Lord. And listen, if you're in this room and you need